As Brent Musburger would say, you are looking live at the Metro Football League box score report. Hello, everyone. Brian Martin with you on the wide, wide world of tabletop sports. No better way to start off a week after the football championship games than to address a couple of questions that people have had about the reports I've been posting on the Play Games community forum at Facebook about the Metro Football League, which is one of the leagues that I have in my Metro City project. It's the first one I've started. And those of you that have been following along and been reading, you'll see that this is the box score report. And you'll notice that because of the grid system, I'm definitely in Excel. One of the things I want to talk about, just as briefly as I possibly can, because this really can be a problem in my world. I'm going to be sharing with you a helper that I can't share with you all. And in a minute, I'll show you why I can't share it with you all, because it doesn't include copyrighted materials that I've converted for my own use. But in a minute, you'll see why I can't. And I know that for some people out there, they'll be like, "Oh, well, that means Brian, you're just showing off. You're showing us something we can't have. You're doing it for your ego." Look, ladies and gentlemen, everything we do in our lives is driven by our ego. We want to be good at something. We want to be the best at something. We want to produce something that's meaningful, whether it's a card set or making up a rule or a house rule or sharing our replays or constructing a patio or doing our jobs or just enjoying our retirements. You know, Everything we do is driven by ego. But to say that something like this is purely ego driven is crazy. What I want to do, and as I've said every time I've shared things like this with people, is I'm hoping to inspire the folks who say, "How did you do that?" And I am thankful to the tens, it's only tens of people who, through their generosity and sharing what they know about Excel, have allowed me to do these sorts of things by teaching me things that I'd seen that I went, "Oh, how did that happen? How do you get the logos embedded into the page? How do you get the stats to work?" It's just a combination of a lot of people helping. And I never once thought they were showing off. I thought it was kind of cool to find out, how do you do what you're doing? And that's the question that's popped up here. How do you do all this stuff? I can't get into all of it. It would be hours and hours to explain all of it, but I want to show you some base things that go into what goes behind the scenes of this so you can get a sense of what you might want to do for something that is a project of yours. Um, Mine was to take the game of second season and create a program that will play it for me. And I'll show you that screen and what that looks like, because this is what I use to play the game. This is my screen. Every one of these buttons does something related to the playing of the game. And I'll give you a brief gameplay demo here in a minute or two. You'll notice that there are statistics that are populated here. They're updated after each and every play, so I can see as I'm going along who's having the good game. For example, Newton Watts, 24 carries, 102 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jake Hudson is 15 for 26 for 126 yards in the game. The quarter, it says OT1 because it's what happens at the end of a game. I'll show you how this works. But this is all done to allow me to play the game wherever I want. I usually take my laptop with me wherever I go. It allows me to be able to have my leagues. I don't need a book of paper. I don't need the charts, the tables, the team cards. They're all located right in here. And so I'm going to show you just one page, and this is here's why I can't share this with you. Let's go to the inside run page. What I've done is I've recreated the chart book in digital format, but not just in a digital format that allows, just says what it is. What I've done is I've just taken all of the different chart readings and I've put them out and I've created codes for them. So, this is the player check finder. So if I roll a 26, we're saying, if it's the first quarter, A versus B, and because sometimes there's two checks. So I roll a 26. It's a normal type play. We're looking at player F and player J. Player F has a 1 defense. Player J has a 1 defense. The requirement is does he have a 0? That's the 2 or 0. And then it answers the question. If either one of those is true, then yes. If both of them are false, both of them are true, it's yes. If neither are true, it's no. And then you have 2 results here. Here's the result if it's a yes, it's a penalty. Here's the result if it's a no, it's a gain of a yard. And then the system, based on the yes or the no, puts that information here. So this creates the result book for this single dice roll. The dice are up here. These are all the dice. This is the play. This is for the unusual play. This is for the XR chart, the go chart, the penalty chart. So every time I roll the dice, this happens. And the dice are rolled. I think I can find them here. Could be here somewhere. Como se dice. The dice are back at the end here. Sorry about that. I don't know exactly where. I know there's a shortcut way to find it. The dice. There's a whole page of dice. At the beginning of the game, these are live formulas. They're then copied and pasted all over the sheet here. And then they're copied. They're continually copied to make up these things. And then these dice are just rolled and they sit there, so that as the plays go, each play, there are 36 sided dice rolls and 10 sided dice rolls that are populating these charts that get me where I need to be for what I want to do. And so those are rolled at the beginning. So let's go back to that inside run chart. And you'll notice there's a column for what the penalty is. So it rolls the penalty, and you know what. So in this case, if this is the penalty, then we would know that it was against downtown for encroachment in 5 yards. If it's against Riverside, it's holding in minus 10 yards because you're changing field position. There's the unusual results, the unusual penalties. There's some other information on the play. This is the XR chart. You know, what is being checked? What happens when are they being checked for, and what happens if it's a yes or a no? And then this is the XR chart. If it's the go, here's the go chart for that, and what the yardage requirements are. So all that happens, and so that's why I can't share this. All of the chart books are here. They're not written the exact same way that Keith has written them, but you would be able to figure out how to play the game. It just doesn't have all the narrative, because the narrative is added here at the bottom. So this is a normal play here, and at the top, Charles Green is the running back, and he's chosen from this running back finder chart, which is tied back to, I think, let's go here. Can never remember where that list is. Anyway, you got to find the coach chart. Where's the coach chart? Come on, guys. Oh, there's the coach chart. There's the play calling chart. Each of these are in play at different times. These are your special situation play calls. They're all numbered, etc. Offensive coordinator role, and it's all tied into this matrix and this chart here. And so at that point, it also then says there's also some other things that are over elsewhere that tells me who's the running back, who's the receiver, etc., etc. So we go back to that inside run. So it picks Charles Green. The dice roll for that is over here. The 7 is looking at this chart here, and it picks Charles Green to be the player. So his fills in here. It then starts to fill in for normal. It says it's looking at all these different fields. So it says here's the ball carrier, Here's the run result. The run result comes down here based on whether what was chosen here. If it's unusual result, this goes here. Then it looks to see if there's a safety, if it's a touchdown, or if it's a normal play, and it looks at that based on the field position, and we'll show you how field position is determined in a minute. It fills all this in because that goes to this results page. Every single play that's in the book is being rolled for at the exact same time. These are all of the potential results from all of the potential charts, and based on what play was called, it goes and finds, for example, I just clicked the end of half button, so it puts that information and it takes it, and whatever's play is called from the play call chart, it fills in that particular information all the way across here. And that becomes the details, all the statistical details for the play. So if we look at, for example, right here, this is a Jake Hudson is sacked for a loss of 6 on a screenplay, and he's sacked by Danny Chapman. So we find out that the quarterback is Jake Hudson. There is no receiver, but the completion was an SK. So it's noted as a sack, not as a completion. Then the passing yards are 0. Then the sack by. And then the rest of the stuff is blank. But you'll see if it also lists a scoring play. If this is noted as a scoring play, this would be the scoring play. So it computes it whether it needs it or not, and based on the markers that are put in that I add to the file, then it goes and does that. And we'll make that a scoring play, and I'll show you where that all goes in a minute. So it's got that information. So if I click the button and the offensive coach calls a screenplay and the defensive coach calls a blitz, it creates this code called screen blitz, and this is what would go down here. Now when I start doing the demo, I'll show you how that happens. At the end of every play, there's a button that says record this play to the game book. It doesn't actually get recorded to anything until you say it does. And the game book then is this little thing in which all of the data, there's a bunch of data from one of the sheets that gets posted here that's all the down and distance stuff. Then this is the play result. This is everything else that you just saw all the way across here. Once you hit the end of the scoring play, then there are tags out here that actually do things like define if it's a play from scrimmage versus not. See, there's like an NPL, no play. Why is there no play? Because there was a penalty on a punt, and the penalty was accepted, so the tag for that line is no play. And we'll show you what the programming is for that. Programming is you go back and say if B31, which is right here, B31 is right here. All right. If it says timeout, it's an NPL. If it's blank, it's blank. If it says penalty accepted, it's an NPL. If it's a kickoff, kick return, punt return, coffin corner kick, onside kick, squib kick, point after touchdown, 2-point conversion, end of half, end of quarter, it's blank. Otherwise, it's a play from scrimmage. So you'll notice all of the ones in white. And I've got these color-coded that if they're scoring plays, they're green. If they're possession change plays, they're beige. If they're field goal, end of half, they're red. And so it's just color-coded for what I want to do. And you can see this column tells me, did they get a first down on this play? It looks and says, if it's a non-play and it's accepted, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of formulas, and if such and such and this and that and the other thing. So it looks and says if the yards gained were more than the yards that were left over, then it's a first down. And then it looks at whether it was a running play or a pass play or whether it was a penalty. Then it looks and says was it a third down play? And in this case, yes, it was. And did it get converted into a first down? Well, if it's the down is 3 and first down is clicked, then it says it's a conversion, or it says fail. so I can keep track of third down stats. I didn't do the same thing for fourth down. They don't happen all that often, and it's only important in the pro game because of odds and stuff like that. Kickoffs are done. Possession changes are done. Here's the penalty against the team. You've got fumble recoveries. You've got, here's the run. So this is for statistical purposes. It's Newton Watts has a carry for 2 yards. And then you'll see, for example, here's Jake Hudson making an attempt and a completion for 16 yards. Here's an attempt that was missed. Here's the wide receiver that was chosen for targets, etc., etc., etc. So you've got a lot of data here. And then you've got the play itself, which is the narrative that appears in the window. And that's how we did all that. The stats then are accumulated by these sheets here, where it looks up everybody and it creates different tags for searching for the stats on the game book on the front page, and it tracks everything and adds it up automatically as the game progresses from the game book using those columns I showed you. That here's Charles Green. It adds run yards and it runs his completions, etc. It does. This was all programmed by me going, what do I want to do? Field position is really simple. When you have the ball, you start at the 0 yard line, and then you advance to 100. When the field gets flipped, then the lookup gets flipped. So there's a lookup page back here that says here's how it goes from 99 all the way back to 100. So when the field gets flipped, these are all predestined, and it puts these marks automatically. So when the field gets flipped, and I'll show you what happens in a minute when that happens. Here's the team rosters with their different formats. It pulls those data points in. You got a schedule here. Everything's tied to the schedule, so that when I change the game number to game number 9, it changes that. It also changes the 2 teams that are playing, and it puts a bunch of zeros because it hasn't loaded anything yet, because I haven't reset the game. The team sheet is here, which pulls up data from the data's collected here and added into this. The drive chart comes from the play-by-play table. It takes the play-by-play table, and the drive chart information is all determined from here. When's the drive start? When does it end? Are these scrimmage plays within the drive? And then it totals the totals. Where does the ball start on? It pulls the information from the start field. Where does the ball start on? What time did the drive start? How many plays? How many yards? What time of possession? So it's not perfect. It doesn't handle 100-yard kickoff returns at all. But that's not really a possession. It's not really a drive. So it just leaves a blank space. Those don't happen all that often. And so it pulls in the home and team for offense and defense, and those switch. So let's just show you how the game is played. I know these button sequences by heart because I developed it. So for every game, you have to go to the schedule. You change the game number to whatever you want, and then there are games down here where these are left blank. So if I wanted to play an exhibition game between Team 3 and Team 4, I can do that, and I just choose Game 31, and I can play that exhibition. And the schedule even automatically shows me which game I'm on, so that I don't lose track during the course of a season that I'm playing. I was on Game 8 when I started, and I now know that I have to play Game 9. I know Game 8 is finished, but I'll leave it. We'll just do this for now. I won't save this anyway. So now it's Lakefront at Midtown. Lakefront at Midtown. We now reset the game. This is going to set everything to start. I've simplified the game here very easily, that the visiting team gets possession to open the game, home team gets possession to start the second half. We don't have to have coin flipped on it. It's just a rule that I have. It's sort of a home field advantage, if you will. The home team gets to start the game in the second half. It pulls in the offensive players for the team that has the ball. The team that's highlighted, their red or blue color is highlighted, has the ball. And then we have to do the dice. I do it twice. This is, you see that quick click there? It's actually took in and recomputed all the dice, so the dice are the same. If you make a mistake in this helper and you don't reset the dice and just reset the game will go through the same dice roll. So you could go, if it's soon enough in the game, you go back and track through till you get to your mistake, and then do it the right way, and you'll be back on track. I've only had to do that once or twice. So the game starts with a kickoff. There's a kickoff button here. It automatically knows that because Midtown has the ball, that it's using Midtown's kicker, and we do the kickoff. And it says that Ray Walsh has kicked off for 70 yards. And there's a kickoff chart in here, of course. And record play to game book. Before this happens, there's decisions that you have to make. First of all, the ball starts 35, so the kickoff is in the end zone. I usually, unless it's late in the game or it's like a yard deep, we'll take the touchback. So the first thing you have to do is you have to mark this kickoff as a touchback by clicking the touchback button. And then that marks this play. And then you record the play to the game book. You'll notice now that the ball is at the lakefront -5. It's 5 yards into the end zone where it was touchback. And then you click the kickoff touchback. That sets it to the lakefront 25. And then you click on lakefront, and now lakefront's offense appears here. Midtown's defense appears here. You click this button is the chain gang. And you'll see that hopefully as we do what happens when that happens. And then you click this button turns yellow to remind you to click it. That means first down and 10. So that's like the down marker on the sideline. Then the white becomes red to remind you that this is the play call that you have to make. And so the offense will appear here. The defense will appear here. The play call is an inside run against the blitz. The result is that Raymond Moore, the running back, he's here, has run inside for 2 yards. So we'll record the play to the game book. You'll notice it says the yard line is 25. Now the yard line says 27. It knows it's the 27. The yellow reminds you that you have to advance the down. It's now 2nd down and 8. The play call is coming. Raymond Moore again with the play runs inside for 6. So we record the play to the game book. And the game book now has 2 plays on it. First play, and it tells you what the charts were used. It was an inside run against the blitz. Happened in the first quarter. Lakefront had it. The clock reads 15 minutes. It's a 36-second play. It was held on 1st down and 10 from the 25. And the 2 yards, this first 2 yards is the raw 2 yards, and this 2 yards would be 2 yards plus any applied penalties, plus or minus. And then it goes across. There's Raymond Moore, 2 and 6. All the way across. Raymond Moore, 2-yard run. That would be if it was a scoring play. They're not marked as scoring plays, but that's just in case they ever do become that. They're already set up there. Play from scrimmage. It's a lakefront play from scrimmage. The defensive team is Midtown. The drive is LAK new, which means that it's the first play of a brand new drive for them. 2 yards. Keep coming across here. There's the statistics. Raymond Moore, 1 carry, 2 yards, 1 carry, 6 yards. So it'll add it up. And on the stats page, it shows that Raymond Moore has carried 2 times for 8 yards with no touchdowns. In the box score, it shows 2 for 8. On the play-by-play, it lists what the play was that showed it in the window. Shows the down and the distance, the time. It starts to compute for the team, the drive. Clock started 15 minutes, 2 plays, 8 yards, taking up 1 minute and 12 seconds. It says turnover on downs just because it doesn't know that the drive is over yet. So that's that. Now we go to 3rd down. Big play here, the play call. It's hard to read this, but it says Ryan Kelly, short pass to Casey Patterson, complete for 5. It's a hard hit, and he hangs on for the catch. So this is a completed catch. We'll record this to the playbook. Notice this little triangle symbol. That means that they've passed. It says -3. Whenever that is 0 or less, this lights up to remind you that it is a 1st down. I'm going to mark the play as a 1st down. Resets the chains. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 38. Over here is my field position. It tells me I started on the 38. The line to gain is the 48. We now know that Lakefront has one first down. They've converted on a third down. They have 13 total net yards in the game. Kelly's 1 for 1 for 5 yards. Patterson has 1 catch for 5 yards and no touchdown. And again, the game book just keeps adding a layer. And there's the what was in the window there. Ryan Kelly short pass, blah, 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 blah. So now we move on. Now the play call. It's blown dead. Midtown has been called for encroachment for 5 yards. It's on the defense. You can accept it, tack on the penalty, or decline it. Of course, we'll accept the penalty. You have to accept the penalty first, which shows accept in the window. It was a long pass against the run defense. We record the play to the game book, and you'll notice it's 1st and 5. It's yellow to remind you to change the down if you need to. You don't need to because it's 1st and 5. And the next play call. Moore runs inside for 1 yard. 2nd and 4. Ryan Kelly short pass to Craig Hughes, complete for 14 yards, so we'll record that play. Notice that's a -10. We move the chains, we set the thing, and now you see the stats update. Kelly's 2 for 2 on this drive for 19 yards. We'll hit another play call. Medium pass complete for 16. Record the playbook. It's a first down. The ball's now at the Midtown 26. Another play call. Raymond Moore now running inside. Inside run, pass defense, runs for 8. 2nd down and 2. It's inside for 1. Key 3rd down coming up. 3rd down and 1 at the 17. And I just hit the play call, and it did it again. So what I can do, made a mistake there. You just come all the way across here and delete that out, and everything else is blank. So now I'm just I recorded a play that hadn't been run yet. So now I'm going to do the play call. Ryan Kelly, medium pass to Sean Robertson, is complete for 16 yards. We're going to record that play to the playbook. We're now at the 1 yard line. Something went wrong there. Well, anyway, I screwed that up. But then I could type in 99. Gets us to the 1. Gets us that. Clicks that. Now it's 1st and 1 at the 1. And you can see 3rd and 1 at the 17. And it's got to put 16 yards and 16 yards there. That's the problem. Yeah. So I know how to fix it. But anyway, so now we're getting close. They're at the 1 yard line. The play call, inside, no gain. Nice stop there on 1st down. 2nd down and goal from the 1. Inside he runs 4, but Lakefront is called for holding, so we'll accept the penalty. Sets up 2nd down and 11 at the 11. And that'll be 2nd down. We'll play call. Loss of 5. They're going backwards. 3rd down and 16. Ryan Kelly, incomplete, Midtown, illegal contact. So we'll accept the penalty, record it to the playbook. We'll reset the chains, and it's 1st down and 10 at the 11 on the defensive 1st down. If we go to the game book and scroll over, we'll see that the penalty was accepted, which means it's going to non-play. Midtown called for 5 yards. Can I find it over here? Where all the penalty tags go? Bear with me, folks. Oh, it waits till the next play. I'm sorry. The programming is such that it waits till the next play to determine all that stuff because it doesn't know that it's still 1st down until it can compare to the next play. So, what play call is complete for 6 yards. We record the play to the game book. And we'll go play call again, inside for 3 yards, and now it's down to the 2 yard line, 3rd down. It's incomplete. It sets up 4th down. We can go for it or not. We're going to kick the field goal just to show you. The field goal is kicked. 20-yard attempt is good. We mark it as a field goal for the scoring. And as soon as I record the play to the playbook, Lakefront is charged with 3 points. We're ready to go, and we would kick off again. And all the stats are updated. All the stats are here. The box score shows that there's been a field goal. These update at the end of each quarter. The time will update after we go to the next play. Here's the summary. 15 plays, 73 yards, 8:36 of game time, 20-yard field goal is how this ended. 2 for 3 and third down conversion, 73 total yards. And then the play-by-play list shows the plays in yellow that there were accepted penalties on, and then shows in green that the field goal was good. And that is all she wrote. That is the demo and showing you how this all works. So you really have to know the skills you need to know for this are lookup, HLOOKUP, VLOOKUP, index match. You need to be able to pull things from other sheets, so you need to be able to have that stuff, have the sheets linked. You have to know how to create random numbers. You have to know how to create the sheet here, and I'll pull up a spreadsheet real quick to show you how to set up a really nice looking form. You'll notice right here, you can see they're like little boxes and blocks. Here's how you do it. And this is if you want to make a form in Excel. So I gotta go back over here to go back to always show ribbon. If you want to make this, you have to basically make a piece of graph paper. So you highlight in the upper corner so the whole sheet is typed in, and you scroll over. I make my squares 18 pixels wide by 18 pixels tall. So now you have nice squares. Then you go in here to page layout. I set the margins to 1/4 inch all the way around. And then depending on what I want, it's either landscape or portrait. Let's say it's landscape. It now puts the dotted lines in for me. So then I go to the bottom corner of the very first page. And I will put a nice little border around the whole thing. And that way, if I do a preview and anything appears below the border, these dotted lines will stay there. As I fill them in, then I can say, okay, I want this to be a certain width, and I'll make it merge across. And so maybe this is the start of a baseball scorebook. So then I'll type in Philadelphia and Cleveland. And then maybe I want to do innings, so I'll do these, and I'll merge those across. And I'll do that. And then I'll do this, and then I'll do this, and then I'll do that, and I'll do that. And so we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, R, H, E, across here. Center, bold it. Then do the all borders, all borders, all borders. That's for extra innings. And so by doing it as a piece of graph paper, you can build forms and sheets that look like this. This is all based on these are squares of a certain size. All of these are certain windows, and they're set up to be just that. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hopefully you learned some tips and tricks and saw how things are done, and it inspires you in your own way to do whatever you want to create your own score sheets or stat keepers or whatever you want for any game that you want. And I thank you for watching, and as always, life is so nice when rolling dice. My friend Jeff Ring says that, and I believe in it. So keep your life nice by rolling those dice. And until next time, so long, everybody.